Hello and welcome to my journal with me for the month of September. This month's color theme is light green. I wanted September to feel calm, collected, and fresh. Just like with blue last month, I don't own very many things in green. It's never been a favorite of mine, though I've warmed up to it over the last few years. I've been really enjoying the light green theme this month with my phone home screen layout, my Bujo, and my laptop's desktop all matching in light greens. I've developed an appreciation for this color and it's been added to the list of colors I like. I wanted this month to be simple and minimalist, which I think matches this shade of green really well. I decided that in the spirit of minimalism, I'd make a larger calendar this month and remove the reminders section that often appears in my monthly spreads. I figured if I make the calendar larger, all the important stuff that I need to remember will be clearly marked on said calendar, so there's no need to write them out elsewhere. I decorated the page with a simple square grid style mood board, but rather than cutting them so that they all fit on one page, I allowed them to go over onto the other page as well. It was a new thing for me and I typically avoid doing that as it can be a hassle to make it work with how the pictures then sometimes shift because of the stretching of the paper as you close and open the book, but I really liked the result. Moving on to the weekly spreads. I realized that I have very few light green decorative materials, washi tape, stickers, and the like, which is fine as that lines up with the simplistic aesthetic for this month. I chose and printed less pictures than usual and used almost all of them. I think there was maybe 3 left, which I think is the least amount of all the months this year so far. I really tried to make this paint chip thing work because I think it looked beautiful, but I didn't end up finding a place for it amongst my spreads at all. I felt like this page had too much negative space on the right, so I opted to make the calendar a little larger, which is something I don't usually do. For week 2, I did a similar spread to one I did back in January with boxes making up the day's to-do list. I made a small mistake when inking them and made one of them a little too small, and when I realized, I felt a little upset because it would be really difficult to cover that up. I decided to commit to it and do all of them like that and have the days of the week titled at the bottom instead of at the top as I had planned, and I was relieved to see it turned out really nice. I've been feeling really overwhelmed and anxious lately. There's just so much going on in the world, as well as my own personal issues, that leave me feeling really hopeless and lost and frustrated. I've had a lot of projects that I put my heart into unexpectedly flop back to back, and I've been feeling really restless and lost with my future plans being in limbo due to the pandemic. I really needed September to just be calm and simple, which included simplifying my life. I pulled back on my social media usage. I limited my goals for this month to only a handful of the most important things I wanted to accomplish, rather than the usual, long, overwhelming list. This has spilled over into more basic to-do lists, which is helpful as I'm trying to find balance in my life. I find that I'm either 100% absorbed in something or not at all, and I've been struggling to work on multiple projects as a result. Rather than doing a little bit every day on each of them, I just want to focus all of my energy on just one thing I'm hyper-focused on at the moment, and that leads to me putting the rest of my projects on the back burner, and then I beat myself up for it later when they're not done on time. It's been an unhealthy cycle, so I'm trying to get into a more balanced place. I don't know if I can accomplish that in 1 month, but I'm going to do my best, and I hope I'm at least headed in the right direction. For week 4, I returned to the little flag detail to mark out the dates. I really like the look of this type of spread when I've done it in the past, and this time was no exception. For the final spread of the month, I tried something somewhat new and did larger boxes on the 4 corners of the page to make up the final 4 days of the month. I then split them in 2 to create main and extra to-do lists, similar to a spread I did back in January. I find having a separate list for the small extra stuff I'd like to do that day really helpful, but I typically don't have the room for it in more detailed and decorated spreads. To finish off, I went back and did some cute doodles to decorate some of the pages a bit more. I rarely doodle in my Bujo, and I remember saying sometime at the beginning of the year that I wanted to include more of that in my spreads, but I honestly haven't done it nearly as much as I hoped to. I think they gave my spreads a cute little bit of personalization and creativity that was lacking due to not having much to decorate with. Here's the results. My favorite spreads are probably the monthly page, week 2 and week 3, though I think all of them turned out pretty cute. They feel so fresh and calming to look at, which is exactly what I needed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next month with October's video.